What's up, y'all? Welcome back, Ball So Hard Sports. For those of you that were checking out we just wrapped up an NCAA men's basketball tournament prior to the actual launch of the 2021 NCAA men's basketball tournament. And first of all, my name is Armon Williams. I go by the Hammer, as you can see, probably, hopefully, right down there. And then my partner is right next to me on my left, probably your right. It doesn't matter where we get it done. He is Marlon, aka Big Showtime Jones. So Marlon, Big Showtime Jones, aka Big Pimpin', by the way. So Marlon, what's going on, man? What's happening?
Nothing at all. Just chilling, doing what we do.
All right, absolutely. This is our ball so hard after dark. This is that portion, the broadcast, or sometimes we get together and we just decide to just some fun, just hang out and just shoot the shit and talk about whatever floats our boat. So it's basically what we're doing right now. So those of you that are watching, we certainly appreciate you watching us. Just a couple things real quick, just a couple ground rules. First ground rule is you have to smash up that like button. You see the like button down there, right below Marlon? Beautiful face. Go ahead and hit that, smash up that like button, please. Also, yeah, you can go ahead and stroke that beard, Mr. Graybeard. Just look like goddamn Papa Smurf. You also make sure that you follow us on Facebook. Facebook logo. Just follow us if you already are following us on Facebook. Our Ball So Hard Sports page for Marlon Armon. Appreciate it. But if not, then please go ahead and click on our link, or go ahead and click on this particular video, and you can take you right to the link. Also, you can also do this. You can search us, or you can go to our Ball So Hard Sports page on Facebook. And once you do that, you'll also be able to find a link. You should be able to find a link to our YouTube channel, because we just went ahead and we launched that about a month and a half, maybe a couple months ago. So that's relatively new. We're trying to grow up the subscription base. It's slow. It's a little bit slower than certainly than our Facebook page, because our Facebook page has done pretty well, I think, over the last several months, and certainly over the last several weeks that we've been doing, kind of regular regular stuff, putting out regular content for you guys. We appreciate that. Oh yeah, something else that I want to go ahead and let you guys know, because this is brand spanking new. We just literally put this together today. We have a Ball So Hard. We have a Cash App now. Believe it or not, you can actually go to our Cash App, and there's a link actually that's provided in our Ball So Hard sports page on our Facebook sports page. You can go to that and Cash. You can go ahead and you can, if you want to contribute, you guys appreciate us and want to let us know how much you appreciate us. A little bit of a cash donation, like a tip, just consider it a tip. You can go ahead and you can punch in Ball So Hard Sports. No, instead of a hashtag, it's actually it's going to be the cash sign, the cash money sign, but Ball So Hard Sports all in uppercase letters, and you can click on the link. It'll take you directly to that. And any contribution you guys, tip that you guys want us to give us, we certainly appreciate it. And even if you don't, have money or don't want to tip us, that's fine. You watching us and showing us your love, whatnot, is basically payment enough. But if you can, and then please do consider that. Having said that, big show time. What's up with you, man? What's going on with you? What's good, man? I know you just concluded high school basketball. You were coaching at Corona del Sol. Your team, you were able to go ahead and make their way into the playoffs. They worked their way into the playoffs, but they lost in the first round. But first and foremost, let me go ahead and congratulate you, because you got a group of tough, courageous kids that a lot of people probably didn't think had much of a chance to make the playoffs to begin with.
Right. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, it was a fun season. We
Hmm.
went through a lot, and at the beginning of the season, if the way we started off, what we went through, if you would have said that we would have gotten into the playoffs, a lot of people would have laughed at you. But we ended up playing well down the stretch and ended up getting in as a 16 seed, and we ended up getting Sunny Slope in the first
Hmm.
round, and we competed. We played hard. We gave them a battle, but they're the number one ranked team in the state for a reason, and came up short. So it's still a good season. We have some building blocks. We set the foundation for the building blocks for the next couple of upcoming seasons. We have a lot of people coming back who are real young this year. So it was just fun. It was a fun ride. And I'm happy for the kids to get a little taste of, the reap the rewards of their hard work and get the taste of the playoffs.
Right, right. Now you got you said that a lot of people probably would have laughed at you if you would have told them you would have gonna make the playoffs, make the postseason. Oh, you got a lot of. Are you dealing with a lot of underclassmen, or you got a lot of young kids,
Oh
freshmen
yeah,
and
yeah. So
softs?
everybody, even our seniors, we had two or three seniors that played, but they didn't have a lot of varsity experience coming into the season, and
Hmm.
everybody else were underclassmen. You know, we
Okay.
had a we had a true freshman point guard that started some games for us, played a lot. Both our bigs were sophomores. A couple juniors that were starters. Um, just a real young team and inexperienced. So, and then to top it off, we're playing in one of the toughest divisions, in the state. Five of the six teams in our conference are made the playoffs, and we had to play them twice. And then of course, the probably arguably the toughest division team or division of the state, we played three of those teams. I think out of the 16 teams that are in the playoffs, we played 10 of them.
Hmm.
So it was we were put to the fire like right from the jump, you know, after finding out whether or not we were gonna have a season, and season kept getting pushed back and pushed back, and we finally had a season that
Hmm.
started off like right into region PowerPoint play. There was
Right.
no easing into it. We opened up with the defending state champions. Then we ended up playing the state runners up,
Hmm.
and like the third rate team like three in a row. And then we had a stretch where we had late in the season, we had six straight road games. So we overcame it, and we upset. We went back to back, upsetting two top 10 teams, and propelled us to the playoffs.
Well, again, congratulations, man, on your season, and oh, best of luck to you moving forward with you and the program and the kids, man. So we just finished a segment talking about tournament basketball, and we were talking about March. How excited are you, man, for this particular tournament, knowing that what we went through a season ago when they completely shut down the tournament, then ultimately wound up shutting down pretty much everything. All sports wound up getting postponed or canceled. And of course, the NCAA tournament was canceled last year, so we didn't have a chance to really get to catch any March Madness. So, how excited are you, with your background being, college basketball player, Mister Arizona basketball? Now you're a high school basketball coach. You've been coaching for a while. How excited are you to get back to kind of normalcy, man? Any kind of normalcy.
It's wonderful. March Madness is probably one of the top 3 or 4 sport events like in the planet. I know it's a busy weekend in Vegas. It's like one of the busiest weekends they have. A lot of dudes fly out there, hit sport books, but
How do you think Vegas is doing right now? How do you think? I mean, how excited do you think Vegas must be? And do you think that
very,
they're getting back to any kind of normalcy, man? Because I know Vegas was
yeah.
pretty much a goddamn
Well,
ghost town.
well, I've known people that have actually taken trips to Vegas over the last couple of weekends, and they
Okay,
take out, and they said it's starting to look a little bit more normal, starting to get a little bit more busy now. It's not as much as a ghost town as it was
right.
months ago. So I think that coupled with the March tournament being up and running,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so much parity in college basketball that I mean, there's maybe two or three teams that maybe stand out, and the rest are just neck and neck. So it's literally on any given day, cliche, anybody can beat anybody in college basketball, and it's just an exciting time. Thursday all day, Friday all day, just games from like the morning till night,
Right.
and buzzer beaters. I mean, it's just an exciting time, and I'm just glad to finally be able to experience and watch March Madness. The tournament. It's just everybody's filling out the brackets. It's just a great time.
Speaking of brackets, man, we have a group. We have a kind of a tournament bracket group that you and I set up. And for those of you, we're gonna also we encourage you to go to our Facebook page to take a look at that, where you can actually sign up. And the password is provided. But for those of you that don't, the password is Balso Hard Sports 2021. 2021. You can get in, you can put in the password, you can fill out your bracket, and you can compare your bracket to ours and to everybody else who's going to participate in this group. And it's exclusive to Balso Hard Sports guys, people that follow us and that support us. So, and I think it'd be fun to kind of see how we match up, because your bracket is somewhat fairly significantly different than my bracket. You
Right.
got Gonzaga winning it all, and most people probably have Gonzaga winning it all. I got Illinois upsetting Gonzaga in the final game. And then we have a few different teams in the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, and even in the Final Four. So, I mean, this is something that we decided to do with this group, with this particular tournament, this tournament group that we have, and that we think that would be fun to just kind of measure each other for a little bragging rights. So that should be fun. So please do sign up for that,
Yeah.
for those of you that aren't aware
Yeah.
of it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun, and somebody ultimately get to like pop out their chest and talk some shit to everybody else.
Right.
But because these things are so unpredictable. I don't think in the history of doing this kind of stuff, um, I don't think anybody's ever like picked every team. I think that because you follow, you follow like pretty much like the millions and maybe even a billion different brackets, because a lot of people fill out several, like they'll wind up filling out like a dozen or a couple dozen damn brackets. I ain't got that kind of time, first of all, man.
Oh,
But but ain't nobody ever like predicted all of them correctly. And the closest that I came to, I didn't predict, a bunch of them that wound up winning. But the closest that I ever came to where I predicted the outcome correctly, which was kind of an odd year, was back in '98, way back in 1998, man. I was flipping coins. I was literally flipping coins, and I think I probably was drunk that night too. I picked I picked Kentucky to play Utah in the finals. I don't think you probably would have been far and in between finding anybody that would have picked Kentucky playing Utah, and that was the season Arizona was like like a national power. I think they had like the top. I think they were like the top seed. They had coming off. They were coming off a national championship from the '97 season, where they beat three number one seeds, and you had Miles Simon, Mike Bibby, and Jason Terry, Jett, and all those guys, and Dickerson. They were loaded for bear, and Lute Olson was the head coach, and but you know, a lot of people were picking Arizona to win it all, but I literally through flipping coins, I picked Kentucky and Utah, and I picked Kentucky to win it, and I was shocked, shit, because actually, we had like a little bracket, kind of like what we're doing. It was a bracket between myself and some of the guys on the football team because I was actually on my way, and then on my way to Spain to play football over there in Spain back in my days when I was playing professional football over there in Europe, NFL Europe. But I was there with a bunch of teammates, and we all wrote brackets, and I wound up like winning because I picked Kentucky and Utah. That's the closest that I've been. I don't know about you whether you got a story you like to share, but that's the closest I've been.
No, I've never been close, but that Utah, I forgot about that's Keith Van Horn and
That was
Rick.
Keith Van Horn. Rick Majerus was the head coach. Yeah, that was,
That
and Miller, Andre Miller.
Jim Miller.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that
mean,
was a nice squad.
yeah, yeah. So no, I wonder what the odds are to get a perfect bracket.
Oh,
Like,
it's man, it's probably you probably like in the zillions, man. I think it's like infinitesimal the number. You can't count it in. I don't think you get infinitesimal. Yeah, you
okay,
you.
Bill Tyson. That's what you over here making up.
I'm making up shit.
I word.
I'm making up words. I'm making up words out of the stratosphere, man. Yeah, but you couldn't probably count that. You probably couldn't count that in your lifetime, man. The odds of being correct in every single game
Yeah,
or
I wish
tournament.
I could have been that dude. Who was it? 3 years ago that took the UMBC team to beat Virginia.
That beat Virginia, yeah.
Yeah,
Did he make a bet?
yeah, the person did
He
do
made a
that.
money bet. Oh man.
Yeah,
What,
yeah,
what
a guy did that. I think he ended up winning like 50 something thousand.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what's funny about that game where UMBC, which is University of Maryland Baltimore County, for those of you that were wondering that already forgot about that game. The funny thing about that upset was right before that right before that game where they beat Virginia, where they actually blew them out. I actually watched their tournament, their conference championship game. You know who they played to get to the tournament? They played Vermont, the Vermont Catamounts, and Vermont was like the top seed. So they weren't even the top seed in their conference. You know, so they were like, I don't even think they were like a two seed. I
wow.
think they squeaked in by beating Vermont, and they beat them in overtime. It took them they took them down in overtime. They upset them in overtime and made it to the goddamn tournament, and then wound up shocking the world. Now that was probably up there with, and a lot of people compare it to Mike Tyson when he lost to James Buster Douglas in Tokyo, which I don't know if you remember what you were doing when that happened. I remember my jaw dropped because I was watching. It was a Sunday. It was like, what was this, like 1990 that happened? It was like a Sunday night, and I was watching. I don't know if you remember George Michael, the Sports Machine with George Michael
Oh yeah, oh
back in the
yeah.
day. I was watching the Sports Machine with George Michael, and George Michael came back from a break, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to believe this. Mike Tyson got knocked out in Tokyo, Japan. James Buster Douglas, and my jaw like literally hit the goddamn floor." So
Yeah.
that that was that UMBC beating Virginia was kind of one of those things. Or obviously everybody talks about the miracle on ice when Team USA upset the Soviet Union. In the actual the semifinals game, that was an actual finals game. A lot of people think that was for the gold medal. That was just to get into the gold medal game.
But
They
you know
wound up
what
beating
though?
Finland.
You know what though? I mean, I could understand that, but
Hmm.
Buster had no business beating Mike Tyson, but he was a formidable heavyweight who was a top contender in that division.
Right.
And It's like when you have your 1 seed versus your 16 seed. I mean, it's literally somebody from one of the Power Five conferences literally playing a team that's just above JC level. Like it's not possible. Like it should be no way possible JC will be close, let alone to win away against
Right.
the. I mean, shit. I mean, the Virginia team won the national championship the next year.
Yeah.
They had no business losing the 16 seed.
Had
You
absolutely no goddamn business losing to
know?
a UMBC that
No,
struggled to get out of their conference championship against the
right.
Vermont squad that
And
was
nobody
much
in
better
here,
than them.
and nobody in here knows what conference that is.
Yeah, I don't. I watched the game and I still don't remember what the hell that conference was. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell you, man, to save my life.
Yeah, you know.
That was one of those moments where that has got to be up there with Mike Tyson losing to James Buster Douglas, who was a journeyman at that point, and the Team USA upsetting the Soviet Union in the Olympics up in Lake Placid, in Lake Placid up in New York, upstate New York. So by the way, I was up there a couple years ago. Chance to actually go up there like during the summer. During the summer times, it's so nice.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever been up there, man. It's first of all, it's like where I stayed at a hotel like north of there, about 30, 40-minute drive. So I was literally where I stayed at a little town called Plattsburgh because it was too goddamn expensive to actually stay at Lake Placid. One of those rooms would be like, they were like about 350, 400, almost $500 a night. Now it was ridiculous. Plus they had this big, because they have this big rugby tournament. They have this huge rugby tournament there every summer, like from July into early August. Since they have a big rugby tournament, and then they also have a big lacrosse tournament. And me and my business partner, we were doing some business in upstate New York. So we do the rugby tournament, and there's a bunch of like middle aged guys that like playing rugby, and like drinking beer and hanging out, which is kind of our kind of crowd. Whatnot. It was cool. And then went did the lacrosse tournament right after the rugby tournament, and I'm hanging out. We're hanging out. Me and my partner, we're hanging out, and who kind of comes by us and passes through, and we're like, "Hey, what's up?" And I wound up talking to him. Uh, Daryl Moose Johnson. His daughter plays lacrosse for Syracuse, the school that he went
Really?
to. Yeah. I just kind of ran into to Moose and was like, "Hey Moose, what's up, man?" We just, kind of just like talking shop for a little bit. It was cool though, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely like where I was staying at in Plattsburgh. That's like literally about 30 miles from Montreal, Canada. So it's that far north.
Yeah, I've been to the Rochester area
Okay.
out of Buffalo in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's west. Yeah, that's beautiful country too.
yeah, it is. You know what the funny part is? Going there to New York State, and
Hmm.
if you've never been there and you've been in the West Coast your whole life, the only image you have of New York State is the city,
New York City. Yeah.
boroughs, subways, all that. And you
Right.
don't understand. You go up when you go to the outside the city. When you go to
Right.
upstate, it's green. It's like
Yeah.
green. There's
Yes, you
hills.
go to upstate New York, it's more like Vermont or New Hampshire than it is what you would envision New York City is, which is just a concrete jungle, man.
Right, right.
You crossing over into whether you crossing over the Brooklyn Bridge or the George Washington Bridge, getting into like from New Jersey and through the George Washington Bridge from the Jersey Turnpike, not so you're going into like Brooklyn and the Manhattan, all that shit. But yeah, you get into upstate New York, north of Albany. It's just mountains, man. It's mountains and it's green and it's plush and it's absolutely gorgeous. And out west where you're out in Rochester, out there and around Buffalo, it's just
Right.
it's basically it's I mean it's you're like
Agler.
in Vermont, man. It's really like you got New York City and then the rest of the state is basically Vermont. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I did go to Niagara Falls and took the shuttle on the Niagara Falls, which was great, right there on the Canadian border, and went to there's a place in Rochester, and it's only known in Rochester. Like, if you ever meet somebody from Rochester, New York,
Hmm.
ask them about Garbage Place. And
Garbage
what
place.
I talk about garbage plates.
Garbage
It's
plates. Oh, plates.
dude, it's this heavenly plate of like uh macaroni salad with this
Uh-huh.
meat, all this stuff is plastered on this plate with Frank's hot sauce, and they have instead of hot dogs they have what's called white hots. So they
White
have
Hots. Okay.
oh my good dude, I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
Good food, huh? I like the food. Yeah, I've never, but a garbage plate. I think I've heard of it, but I haven't. You know, I haven't been to Rochester, but yeah, now you gave me something to look out for, man. The garbage plate.
Yeah,
Is it like a huge, like a kind of like one of those ginormous kind of like plates?
yeah, I'm telling you, it's ah. I wish that there was a place in Arizona
Mm-hmm.
uh, that had this. Let me see if I could. Let's see here. Uh,
Find something like that that's got like a big portion of food. Well, I mean, you thinking of something like Arizona, it's got to probably be Mexican food
oh
if you're
yeah,
gonna have something like this got like a huge, enormous like portion. That
there it is.
yeah, what you get? What's that? Is that the
That's a garbage plate.
that's the garbage plate? Damn, that's a lot of food. You know what that reminds me of now that you showing the plate of that reminds me of like the diners because I lived in New Jersey, like right off the Jersey Shore, like in Manasquan, like was literally a couple blocks away from the beach. But they got Jersey's known for its diners. That's what Jersey's basically known for, and they have diners that serve big, huge ass plates like that for like a decent price, where you get just a ton of food that you can't eat it all in one setting if you're a normal human being. You gotta
Right.
take that. You gotta take a doggy bag for half that shit and pack it up in a doggy bag and microwave it and eat it later. But yeah,
The garbage plate. Oh,
garbage plate. Oh man, that looks good.
it's backwards, but
That looks good. Hey,
good
real
though.
quick, I got to give a shout out to your boy Brian Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he wrote "Moo." So this was a couple minutes ago. It was probably me talking about when I was in when I was up in upstate New York, and I ran into Daryl Moose Johnson. Yeah,
Oh, right.
Moose is a cool guy. Moose is a down ass dude. He's a cool dude. But yeah, shout out to you, Brian Mitchell. We see you, man. We
Without
see
peace.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, garbage. They need that out here. I mean, they put. I mean, onions, macaroni salad. Sometimes they put fries
Damn, that
on
looks
there.
good.
White
That's
hot
crazy.
special
Yeah.
sauce, and
Mm.
it's nothing that you can find anywhere else. Like you only get this in Rochester.
Yeah.
Like if you're in Albany, like I talked to some people like from Albany or Buffalo, they had no idea what I was talking about.
Right.
It's only in Rochester. I got a place called Nick Tahoe's that serves these garbage plates. Man,
Garbage plates.
I
You
was
know.
I was like, okay, speaking of Mike Tyson, I was like
Uh
Mike Tyson between 86 and 89 smashing those. Oh,
huh. Oh man, you talking about food? You know what that reminds me of, man? Not necessarily the garbage plate, but like you talking about specialty foods that you can only get at certain places that you can't find nowhere else. I remember when I was in New Orleans, man, when I was living up there, when I was living and working out in New Orleans, I was actually there, with the Saints in their off-season program when I got picked up from the Saints after I got released from Minnesota Vikings, and they had like at the Kroger's they had this sausage, like this Cajun flavored sausage that I started buying up there that I would cook on my George Foreman grill. Remember the George Foreman grill and shit?
oh yeah.
I would cook that shit on my George Foreman grill and I like throw in some taters or whatever. And that that sausage was so goddamn good. And it had like just the perfect fuck Cajun flavors and spices, but it was spicy. I never back then I was like about 25 years old. I'm like 47, I was 25. Gives you kind of idea how long ago that was. Back then I
Yeah.
had it like back then my digestive system was like I had a cast iron stomach, man. But every time I ate it, that food was so good, but every time I ate it, it gave me like the worst shits, man. Like the next day, I was on the toilet for like half the day, man. It was kind of like a love-hate relationship, man. It's like, man, I want to eat these things, man, but I know I need to have like a day off to go ahead and recuperate off
Right.
this shit. But that food was so
Uh,
mother sucking good. Damn, that reminds me of that, man.
every time I think of the George Foreman grill, I think of The Office where Michael Scott burnt his foot
The
on there.
The Office.
Yeah.
Oh
The Office
yeah,
dish.
yeah, yeah. I think Mike Brian says I think they used to serve that on Trash Can Lady. It says Brian says sup fellas. Andul Life. What is Andul Life?
Yeah, that's andouille. That's the sausage.
Oh, oh, Andouille. Okay, yeah. Oh, Andouille.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
that's
that's the
okay.
sausage. They put that in gumbo. All the any sausage dish food in Orleans, that's most likely what the sausage is.
Yeah, Andouille. I think that is the sausage, Brian. I think that's the sausage that would tear my ass up. I eat that shit, man, and it was absolutely delicious. I loved it. Oh, also, I remember when I was in Houston. I remember when I was a rookie, the Oilers. This was right before we moved to Tennessee. I remember after one practice was the defense. We stayed in the defense in the secondary. We kind of like stayed after practice to watch films. And I remember you know Bruce Matthews, right?
Oh yeah.
Hall of Famer, Bruce Matthews. He went and catered. He bought catering from this barbecue restaurant in Houston, and they had brisket. That was the best goddamn brisket I ever had in my life. And shit literally melted in your mouth. You didn't have to chew it. You just put it in your mouth and like swallow it like 5 seconds. Wait 5 seconds, count to five and swallow it. That was how like just like absolutely just like mouth melting kind of like meat that I ever tasted in my life. It was the best goddamn brisket I ever had.
Yeah,
I literally didn't chew it.
That's what Texas is known for is their brisket. There's
Yeah.
a
Oh, I know.
restaurant. Yeah, my favorite barbecue joint in the planet is the Salt Lick Barbecue out in Austin.
Okay.
Awesome. That's a,
Austin. They got some good food in Austin, Texas, boy.
oh, yeah, that's a fun town. It's a college town, obviously.
That is a crazy. Austin is like one of the weirdest places to be to have
Yeah,
a town like at a place that's like literally it's as progressive and liberal. It makes L.A. blush, L.A. and New York City blush as far as how liberal it is, and such surrounded by this red conservative state. It is crazy that you can have like that they could survive, man. I literally would think that a city like Austin would have to build like a moat and like build like a wall like you would around a castle, shit
right.
from to protect themselves from the conservatives. That, but it's because they are so different. But it is a neat little town, man, surrounded by these crazy ass conservatives, whatnot. But it's a fun place to be, man. But Texas is just a different state like that, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're absolutely right because it's surrounded by the university. It's got a great music scene, a lot of good music
Oh yeah,
festivals.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
the
that's where they got whatchamacallit, not that second city. What's that famous that famous was it so
X yeah
they have show they have like they have shows regular it's like it's kind of like Grand Ole Opry, not but you know it's in I can't think of the name. Let me look it up and try to find it.
that's the Salt Lake behind me.
The Salt Lake.
Yeah, the Salt Lake barbecue right there.
Oh, that's the barbecue place you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's Texas. I'm looking up the music is it music festival?
Yeah, it's the South by it's
The
in
SXSW. Is that what you were talking about, right? City Limits. Austin City Limits. That's what it is. Austin, you heard of Austin City Limits, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah, Austin City Limits is what I'm thinking about, man.
Yeah, speaking of music, that's another thing Rochester's known for too. They have a great blues and jazz festival.
Oh yeah, in Rochester.
Yeah. We were there the weekend and we saw Buddy Guy perform. Buddy
Who? Buddy
Guy,
guy? Oh, Buddy. Okay.
yeah, Buddy Guy and George Thorogood
Mm-hmm.
performed that weekend we were there. I think it's like the historical Kodak Theater or something like that. So, Kodak's a huge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where they're located, headquarters or something. But anyway,
Right.
um, they have a great jazz and blues festival.
Best place I ever had beer is, and when I say this, it's going to be obvious. Beer and brats. Best place I ever had beer and brats. Obviously, I mean it's a no brainer. It was when I was in Dusseldorf, Germany,
Oh, I thought you were saying,
1990.
I thought you were saying Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. I mean, obviously, you got a lot of German. Wisconsin's like little Germany. But yeah, Dusseldorf and then Frankfurt. But particularly, I was in Dusseldorf. That was when I was playing football. We played the Rhine Fire in Rhine, up in Dusseldorf, Germany. But while I was there, we went and hung out and had some beer and brats. And I tell you what, man, they know how to do it. The Germans, boy, they know how to do their beer and brats, man. Because this shit was off the hook, and I almost hooked up with this Croatian girl when I was over there. That was fun.
Okay, you that's around to be a victim in Eastern Promises Part 2.
Run around, got children all over the place, and I don't know about. Got some Blake Griffin looking kid. Playing for the German national basketball team or some shit, running a track and field. No, man, I don't know. Like that running joke that used to hey man, you got any kids? Like, no, as far as I know. As far as I know.
That's funny. Yeah, that's on my bucket list actually is to hit Germany for Oktoberfest and drink one of those 44-ounce mugs.
How many Oktoberfest have you been to, man?
Well, I've been to a few, but like I said, I want to go to one that's actually in Germany. You know,
Yeah.
but there's a good one in Orange County that I go to,
Hmm.
that I want to go to again. That's pretty fun. So,
Right.
well, yeah, that's I want to go to experience an Oktoberfest in Germany, a St. Patrick's Day in Ireland.
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
would be fun.
what else? Oh, I'll tell you what else is a blast too is out there in Santa Barbara every first week of August is the Spanish Day Fiesta. That's a
Yeah.
blast too. That's a blast too.
Your
Yeah.
boy Brian Mitchell was talking about you got to talk about bangers and mash for tomorrow.
Oh,
Tell
but
you what,
yeah,
man. Bangers and mash, man. I've been to Scotland. I haven't been to Ireland, but been to Scotland. Yeah. They got bangers and mash too, boy. They got some good bangers and mash there. And
you
then
ever have
when I go ahead.
you ever have blood sausage?
No, I don't think so.
While you're out there in Scotland,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. At least I don't know. I had what was that drink that they call it, a car bomb?
Irish Barbon.
Yeah, I was introduced to that when I was in like Scotland. That
You didn't have haggis.
huh?
You didn't have haggis.
You know what? I think I did have haggis. I think I did. I think I did. It was so long ago, man, and it's like those memories are like kind of like a blur. I mean, most of the time we were like just hanging out, partying and drinking. I
Oh
remember the
yeah.
first night I got to Spain, we stayed at this hotel right off this beach town called Sitges, and the owner of the hotel, he owned the Barcelona Dragons, which was the team that I played for. His name was Marcos Fustas, I think his name was, and I ran into him in the hotel lobby when we had just landed in Barcelona and took the bus from Barcelona to Sitges, which is about 30 minutes outside of Barcelona on this little beach town, and it's beautiful, beautiful hotel. And I literally is like sitting right on the Mediterranean Sea. Anyway, meet the owner. We start talking about music somehow. I start talking about jazz. And I love jazz music. I am a jazz aficionado, and I start talking about. He's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yes. Me and my kids, we're going to the jazz concert, and down at the Symphony Hall. You should come with us." I was like, "For real?" Like, yeah. So he invited me like the first night that I got there. I'm hanging out with the owner of like the Barcelona Dragons, the owner of the hotel in Barcelona, and a bunch of businesses and shit. Hanging out with him and his kids, watching the jazz concert at some big ass symphony hall. And then later on that night, I'm hanging out with a couple of my teammates, and then his kids. Like his kids were like our age, and they're like we're all in our 20s. They own this bar down the street from the hotel. I'm hanging out with his son and his daughter, and I remember I started calling his daughter the Baroness. because they had so much goddamn money. And they were just like just buying us beers. We were just buying us beers and shots the whole night. I remember I went into the bathroom. I had to throw up, man. I drank so much, man, and then just kept drinking. And my boy Michael Wright, who was he was at the time he was with the New York Giants. Nah, he just started calling me Earl after that. He said, "What's up, Earl?" Yeah, those were fun times, man. Those were fun ass times. You can't beat it. You really can't.
Yeah, that's the leprechaun I'm looking for tomorrow.
Oh yeah. When is St. Patrick's Day, man?
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
Yes,
Damn.
it's tomorrow.
It's to I always think of like St. Patrick's Day. Every time I think of St. Patrick's Day, I think about the week. But you're probably right, man. I'm gonna go out and
It's tomorrow.
I ain't got nothing green, man.
You ain't got nothing green?
I ain't got nothing green, so I ain't gonna go out tomorrow because my ass will be pinched up, man. If I'm gonna get pinched, I might as well get a COVID shot. Shit, fuck it. You know? Yeah, that's what you're looking for tomorrow?
It's like the Ides of March, and once the
Uh-huh.
Ides of March hit, then it's right there, right around the corner from St. Patty's
Yeah.
Day. Ides of March,
Okay. Yeah,
Ides of March.
Brian's talking. You know what Brian said? He says he wants to do St. Patty's in Boston. That'd probably be a good spot to do St. Patty's Day.
So,
Boston.
yeah, that'd be. That's something else. That's not me. I wouldn't go to Boston.
You
But
wouldn't want to go to Boston? Really?
no, no,
Why not? Why?
it's too hot. They're called mass holes for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
You
called
know what?
for a reason.
My business partner is actually from Massachusetts. He's actually from Boston area, and he actually went to Boston College. He's a good guy, but he can but sometimes you can see the some of the Boston comes out of him. You
Oh,
know, he starts talking about he starts going off on some weird ass tangents. I'm like, yo, man, you gotta need to slow your roll. You need to calm your shit down, man. You
yeah,
kind of talk you talking crazy, man. Like you're a
yeah.
good guy. I love you, man. I love you, John, but you crazy. But sometimes you be out of pocket with your shit.
I've got some good. Like I have a lot of friends from Boston, and it's like hey, Marlon, how you like the Celtics? I've been a popular, you have a car, and you know, it's all about Boston, Marlon. Like, no, my name has an R in it, not an H.
Yeah,
Marlon.
it's
Okay.
Marlon. That's
Yeah,
Marlon. When you go to the
yeah.
bar, when you go to the park and hang out and have some dags.
And of course, Wicked.
Yeah,
I talked
wicked.
I talked to somebody on the phone. I was doing sales one time, and he said, "Yeah, this is Wicked cool." But I said, "Let me tell you this.
Wicked. You
You're
keep
calling
wicked
from
out your mouth.
you calling from Massachusetts." I said, "How
Yeah,
did you know?" They go, "Because every other word is wicked."
every wicked. It's like the same thing when you get somebody from Canada that says about. They say a boot, a boot. Can you say about again? Say a boot. You know, well, it's what is it? A boot. It's not a boot, bitch. It's about. You can say
Yeah,
about. Put the OU in that. You know.
I hear you.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
but like I said, Boston would be cool if it wasn't filled with Celtic and Patriot fans.
Yeah, Celtics fans and crazy ass Celtics fans and Patriots, yeah, especially with all the winning that they. I don't know, man. Boston, the hell it is with Boston, man. But their teams, man, always win. And not only do they win, but it's annoying how they go about bragging up those damn teams, man. Like it was the Celtics for forever, and now it's the damn Patriots. So after a while, you just get sick and tired of that shit. It's like, man.
I mean, you throw in, there was a year, that Boston, the Bruins and the Red Sox were up in
And
there
lately,
too.
it's the Red Sox, the Bruins. Yeah, even the Red Sox got off that streak, and now they're winning championships again. And it's like, man, can y'all just like spread some of that championship love to some of the other folks out here, like out here in the desert? Not, like L.A. Y'all got the Lakers, and you finally won a World Series. The Dodgers won a World Series. Finally got off the schneid. Not, but yeah, everybody else, man, it's a struggle. You got, I mean, obviously at the Bulls, but Boston's got to be probably one of the most successful. It's championship city, man. It's championship town outside of L.A. It's just it's championship town. It is what it is, man.
I would agree. And LA has also in their favor too, like their run of college football with SC and college basketball with
Suppose
UCLA.
UCLA. Yep.
Every 4 years, it seems like every Olympian is from one of the California schools, whether it's Stanford or Cal or SC or whatever.
Yep. You're
So,
absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man.
hey,
California 49ers up north.
speaking of Boston,
Hmm.
uh, we can talk about LeBron buying into the Red Sox.
Oh, that's right. He just bought it. He bought part ownership of the Red Sox. So he bought the share with the Boston Red Sox just recently. So congratulations, LeBron James. He's made some smart decisions. He made some smart decisions on and off the basketball court. Look, people can go ahead and complain about his decision that he made about 10 years ago or so about him taking his talents to South Beach, but he did it for a reason, man. It's the reason why I never knocked him. I know a lot of people. I know you were kind of anti LeBron for a while there, not, but I've always been LeBron. I looked at it like, hey man, he had to make a career decision. I know a lot of people like the loyalty, and so I'm like, shit, he was on struggling Cavs franchise for like 7 years, first 6 7 years of his career.
You can't even say struggling because he got him to the finals.
Yeah, he took them to the fight, put them on his
That's what
back.
everybody's crying about. He got him to the struggling. They're in the
Yeah,
damn finals.
they
You
were in the
know?
damn final. He put the damn team on it.
Yeah.
Carried the team with a bunch of like schmoes and like to the NBA finals, and gave a coach that had no business getting coach of the year. He gave him coach of the year, and like I'm like, dude, Mike Brown, the year that he got coach of the year, I would have said first and foremost, I want to thank LeBron James. Secondly, I need to thank LeBron James, and then finally,
Hey,
last but not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank LeBron James.
LeBron will take me, you, and Brian to the finals.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
fact.
literally, he literally think, especially in his prime, he'd be like, "Hey, y'all just go ahead, just just pass me the damn rock, just throw it up high enough to where I can go ahead and catch it, and not too low where it's gonna get stolen and shit, and we'll be fine. I'll figure out a way to go ahead and get us the damn finals." He
That's a,
literally could make us a decent ass basketball club, man.
yeah, I
I
think.
mean, but yeah, but about his financial stuff. But go ahead, man.
Oh no, I'm just going to say that to talk about with LeBron how the NBA Finals should be named the LeBron Invitational. I think since 2010,
Hmm.
there's only been two final appearances where LeBron wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean,
that's for
it's,
three different teams.
yeah. I think the first year that he got to the Lakers that they didn't make the playoffs, that was probably like the first time in his career that he didn't make the postseason.
Yeah, but he played. He shut it down half the season. That was the first time in his career that he had
That he was
suffered
injured. Yeah.
injured. First in his career, he'd been injured. He missed, 20 something games, and
Yeah, with the growing injury, he was what was it, a slight tear to his groin?
yeah,
Yeah.
so they shut it down, and first time that he'd been injured, and they shut it down. It was like it's not worth it if they were to make the playoffs if he has an 8 seed or something anyway. So
Right.
yeah, you're right. His first year, technically, he didn't make it,
Hmm.
but he played less than half the season, so there's that too. But when he was healthy, they got Anthony Davis. The rest is history.
The rest is history. And look, I know they're without Anthony Davis right now, and they're struggling a little bit. Been without Marc Gasol as well, and then they were without who's a point guard that they acquired from Oklahoma City. That I can't think of
Schroeder,
his name.
Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, Schroeder. And I do like Schroeder a lot as well.
I've
But
always liked him. I've liked
they'll
him.
be fine, huh?
I've always liked him. I've liked him since Atlanta. I love
Yeah.
Schroeder.
No, I think these are solid point. Before the Suns, be honest with you, before the Phoenix Suns picked up Chris Paul, I was kind of hoping that they might have a chance to crack at Schroeder. They might have been able to get him kind of on the cheap because things didn't really work out in Atlanta. That he didn't quite blow up, but I think that he's a quality point guard. He's not Chris Paul, but he's a good point guard, man. But the Lakers, they'll be back. They'll be right back. They'll be right back in it, and I think they're
Well,
the
they're tied.
favorite.
Holy shit, they're tied with Phoenix right now, and for the 2 spot, 2, 3 spot,
Right.
and they won 3 in a row. They're all right.
I think it would be an interesting series if Phoenix can. I personally, I would like to see Phoenix play LA in the Western Conference Finals. I think that would be fun, man. I think that would be really, really interesting. Still we got Utah to deal with, and the Clippers. I don't know I don't know what to think about the Clippers, man. I just don't think that the Clippers are. I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers get bounced in the second round, especially if they have to face a team like the Suns or Utah or you know.
I can tell you exactly what to think about the They are the Clippers.
Hmm.
They are the paper clips. They are the
Yeah,
little brothers in LA. I mean, they are
yeah,
the. At the end of the day, it says Clippers across that chest. You know,
and they'll always be the Clippers. They'll always be little brother.
they'll
Yeah,
always they'll always be the Clippers.
yeah.
Simple as
Oh,
that.
anything anyway, man. Anything special going on this weekend? We got St. Patty's Day. You doing anything for St. Patty's Day? Before we go ahead
No,
and wrap this up.
no, man, I'm not trying to be out in the streets, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Did you get
so
your shot? Did you get a shot yet, man? Did you get vaccinated or?
getting it soon. I'll be getting it soon. You know, be
Okay,
posting around and stuff. So I plan on it. My parents got both of theirs, so
that's good.
yeah. So yeah, you know, I'm not gonna do much. I mean, I may go somewhere early during the day, like 11 or something, get some corned beef and cabbage somewhere.
Okay.
But be back at the crib like by 1 or 2. I'm not trying to be out, but they got checkpoints everywhere. It's the worst time to be driving,
Yeah.
and it's also any day. And not
Awesome.
saying I will be drinking a lot, but I just don't want to be on the road. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear
So
you. Shit, I haven't really done much of anything, man. This whole 2020 and right now 2021, I didn't really do a damn thing for
right,
Thanksgiving.
right.
Didn't do
Oh
anything for Christmas. Didn't certainly wasn't thinking about Halloween. 4th of July was kind of came and went. Labor Day, blah. You know, this whole pandemic thing kind of took the air out of me. Whereas like the year before, we had a big event on Halloween, and Thanksgiving was over with I was over with my business partner and his family out in New Jersey, and then the 2019 and the 2020, I was in downtown New York City, man. I was in Manhattan. I had a chance to perform and do stand up comedy that night in the Bronx. I had to bring in 2020, which was cool. And was down by Times Square, and but 2020 was kind of a shithole year for me, and then right now
right.
2021 is a little bit better, and there's a little bit more hope about about shit as we get into the summer, but it's been pretty flat.
Yeah, it's been shitty for 2020 was garbage for everybody. It was just that year could just go miss somebody. You know, it was just a tough year for everybody. Like you said, you know, we didn't do Thanksgiving, we didn't do Christmas. I mean, I haven't seen my parents face to face. I mean, they've been self quarantined like for well over a year now. So
That's just the right thing. It was the best thing for them to do, man.
right, right.
Lost my grandfather, lost my uncle to COVID, so you know,
I hear that. That's
so
horrible.
absolutely. So it's almost quitting time, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. 'Cause we're almost an hour into it, and this thing is gonna shut off pretty soon if we keep going. So, but we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. So, those of you that watched us, we really appreciate it. Shout out to your boy Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell always comes through